Hey friends, so it's nearly 3 a.m. and I had a sudden urge to make a Reddit video, so I just decided we're fucking doing this. And I'm gonna be focusing on one story in particular. This is the story that I found and saved I think about a week ago, and I was gonna do it while my mom was away, and I was planning to do it like a couple of days ago, but then I didn't and stuff. Like, I don't know. If I don't want to record a video, I'm not going to record a video, but I suddenly decided that I wanted to record a video. So I was just like, okay, fuck that. I'm just gonna go ahead and record a video. So I'm gonna record this story. And this is episode I think 39. So this is gonna be episode 39 of reading Reddit stories. And the one that we're going to be focusing on specifically is my 15-year-old idiot kid got his girlfriend pregnant on purpose. Ugh. Um, so obviously this person isn't the OOP. None of these stories come from the OOPs, like the original posters are on a different subreddit. This was actually originally posted r/true off my chest. The original story anyway. And then there's a bunch of updates and it's pretty long, so we're gonna be going through this. And trigger warnings are teenage pregnancy, manipulation, possible mental health struggles. Mood spoilers. We're not going to read that because I don't want to know. I mean, I've read it, but I don't want you guys to know. Okay, so original post April 26th, 2025. Throwaway for obvious reasons. I, a 30 female, have a child who is 15 male. We'll call him Ollie, plus four other children, age 2, 6, 9, and 11. As you can tell by my own age, I was a teen parent. I was lucky and we married at 18. Still married, healthy relationship, worked our way out of a very dire situation. We graduated, started a trade, etc., and we are comfortable, stable in all ways. This information is relevant. Ollie has been friends with this girl, we'll call her Bree, since he was 7 years old. Their family used to live in the same city as us and went to the same school, had the same friendship group. We knew her parents and are long distance friends ourselves, not close friends, but say hello when the kids are on video chat. We've had drinks together before. Bree's family moved to a very small town 3 states away due to rental affordability. No secret, we all have talked about the rising costs of everyday life. The cost of living in the city has risen, forcing many locals out. They moved because of that and for better job opportunities 18 months ago. Since then, Ollie has been begging for us to follow them, giving us a sales pitch on cheaper housing, better paying jobs, none of which fit either of our professions. The whole works. We have said no because, well, no, but even if we wanted to, our other children are in school, sports, and have friends here. Selling and buying another house, finding work outside of our skill set, or having to learn new skills, any normal adult would understand this. He does not. Well, fast forward to Christmas, Bree's family come back to our city for a holiday, and the kids met up multiple times with each other. It was my understanding that they were always with the other kids, but obviously not since Bree is pregnant and I am certain it was on purpose. He has access to condoms. I don't care for opinions on that. My access was restricted and I had him. Yeah, exactly. I think you should provide your kids with condoms. And I mean, teenagers are ultimately going to do what they're going to do. They will find ways to do stupid things. And the best you can do is just make sure that they're protected and that they understand about safe sex. So, yeah, I don't know. I know there's mixed opinions on that sort of thing, but like, no, I disagree. I don't know. And I think at a certain age, you should have control over whether or not you want to have sex as long as you're having safe sex. But I think if you're like, I don't know, 15, 16, that you should be allowed to have sex. And I don't like that. I don't know. I disagree with parents who don't let their kids have sex in the house and who, like, I don't know, if they're going to be doing it, at least shouldn't they be doing it in a safe place? I disagree with the open door policy, past a certain point, like past a certain age. Like, if they're 13 or 14, you probably don't want them having sex. But once they get older, I just feel like there's no point in even trying to control it anymore, and at least they're having sex somewhere safe. Anyway, he has had sex ed from me, my husband, and the school. He knows damn well how babies are made and how to not have one. Ollie now wants me to move to be with her and the baby. It's confirmed. I've talked to her parents. And I said no. I don't feel I need a reason, but he asked. You're 15. We don't have any proof it's your child yet. I'm not moving us away from our lives, and you aren't going alone until you're 18. We will do a DNA test, then we will look at parenting plans and topped it off with a too bad, too sad. You made your bed, now you have to sleep in it. He took that back to Bree, and now all communication between me and her parents has been cut. I'm a terrible person. My comments about the DNA test are disgusting, and it's fueling my son's hate for me. He says I am keeping him from the love of his life and future baby, using my own successful relationship as proof it will work out. I actually don't even know if I'm right or not. I'm just really upset and feel like my life I worked really hard for has been destroyed. Okay. Edited for an update to answer some questions. She is due September on the 22nd. So, no, there is no option for abortion. I don't think that or adoption ever was. Ollie admitted it was on purpose last night. Apparently, it was Bree's idea first, as a joke that turned into a plan together. Bree's parents will only pass messages through my son, and I have heard this for myself. I stood outside the door and listened to them tell him, tell your mother, insert info below, because I know I will just go off on her about that bullshit still. They were talking shit about me with my kid. They were appalled I would think that way of Bree when I've known her for more than half her life and do not wish to talk to me. I will not allow him to move out there alone. There were some past issues such as Bree breaking up with him twice in the last 18 months because she found someone that she liked more in her new town around August and October of last year, which is the same boy. And when it ended, she came back to Ollie. Bree is a nice girl, but her behavior is toxic and has been since she was a child. Her mother and stepfather are nice, but their relationship is unstable. The house is chaos, not into structure. I will not budge on that. I am close to cutting his contact totally at this point. And only really chosen to say, you have the intelligence of a pear. Then there was an update number two. May the 30th, things have gone south even further. At this point, husband and I have been blocked on all social media and numbers blocked, but the communication with Ollie has continued. Ollie gave us Bree's parents' emails address to send an email to, but before using that, I asked him to video chat Bree with me there, and then I could ask Bree to please get her parents so I can talk to them about this and tell her that if they were going to continue to refuse, then I would be blocking all contact to Ollie and communication until this is resolved. I told Ollie this before the call. At first, he flipped out about it, but it was this or I cut communication completely. I do think he understood that it is not okay that our parents are speaking to me through minors, and he said himself he would like us to talk to each other. Bree joined the call and hung up when she saw I too was there. Ollie called back a few times and she didn't answer. She asked via text why I wanted to talk to her, and Ollie told her that I wanted to speak to her mother. And if we didn't resolve the communication issue, then all contact would be ended until her parents made contact with us and we make a plan for the next few months, including DNA and then birth arrangements. Said that if the baby is his, he will travel there for the birth and first few weeks after. He told her that I personally think it probably is his baby, but I want to be sure and make sure everything is done right from the start. Well, Bree blocked him without a reply, and now he's totally heartbroken, not eating, sitting in his room all day and night, not mad at me, surprisingly. Very, very sorry for him and to us, sad about all, and I think regretful. He even asked me if there was a way to undo it for himself. I haven't talked about signing over rights, a male abortion, his father called it, because I think he's just upset right now. A mutual friend of Bree and Ollie's here in our hometown showed him a few posts she has made in the last 24 hours. Things like, it's you and me against the world, baby girl, and memes about deadbeat dads. She also announced the pregnancy, which she hadn't done yet, and the post had some single mother facts and questions. Single mother facts and quotes. All his friends knew about the situation, and a few were under the impression that he had dumped her and the baby, going by the post, but when he explained that what had happened, they all rallied for him now in the comments. I said not to, and now she's blocked them, and we can't see what she has posted. This is just a nightmare. I have of had a plan personally, but not set, but something I wanted to talk to her parents about, but I don't even want to waste my time at this point. Ollie gave us Bree's parents' email address to send an email to with said plan. Basically, Bree does a DNA blood test. We will pay the full $1,500 for it. Hot damn. If it's his baby, we can book flights and plan to be there for the first month. I'll stay too with Ollie, maybe even the whole family, and then we can also work on a parenting plan and getting into meditation, mediation, not meditation, mediation, for a judge to sign off on it. Ollie's father and I split for the first 7 months of his life, so we have done this before and we know the process. But at this point, I think I will just leave it to settle before sending an email. Relevant slash top comments. Someone says, nobody's going to point out how both children are manipulative. Obviously, the girl was on board, and it sure seems like they both kept it under wraps until it couldn't be avoided. Both children are bad actors here. And OP says, this, I think it was planned 100% on both sides. And this was Christmas. She's around 24 weeks, I believe, and way past abortion. They also never even told us until 20 weeks, which is past the abortion time in a lot of places. Like, you can't, I think you can't, abort a baby after, like, I don't know, 3 months, 2 or 3 months? I don't really remember. But, like, there was different thresholds for different states and different parts of the world. Like, some places you can have an abortion, like, right up until you actually have the baby. You can have an abortion at, like, month 9 if you want. Other times, you can't have an abortion past a couple of months. So I guess it just depends on where you are. And then another commenter says, "Quite the manipulative teen you've got there. But by teen logic, his plan makes perfect sense. From any point of view, you can't give into his plan, though. It would ruin you financially, ruin his relationship with his siblings, and yours with him. I would give him a detailed plan on how you and your partner manage to rise above all the risks of teen pregnancy, focus on school, plan ahead, make sure the village is on board, because as they say, it takes a village, and of course, how lucky you both were that it all worked out despite having to sacrifice so much. How does he expect you to support his child without your jobs?" But he made the choice to become a parent. So now he will have to do what you did, focus on school, get stability, make sure to stay in his and her parents' good graces so they can be the village they will desperately need. There was nothing he can do to support his girlfriend physically, and as a jab, he's done enough physical support for a good while to come. He doesn't have a job, no way to provide financially. All he can do is focus on being able to do that as well, and as soon as possible. So by the time he's ready to go partying, no. No, he isn't. He's going to bed early to get up for his weekend job to save up for his kid. And it's sad. I just realized that if this becomes a family tradition, you'll be great great grandparents by the time you turn 60, lol. Okay, that's fucking. That it's supposed to be funny, but it's actually really scary, and I hope that does not happen because hot damn. Commodore 3 says, "He's 15. You get to make the decisions and you are doing the right thing. No way can you move your whole family because of this. The responsible thing is to do a DNA test and set up a parenting plan. He won't like your decisions, but that's too bad sometimes. Being a good parent is making decisions our kids hate us for. This is a result of their bad decisions, not yours." Another commenter says, "Reality is about to hit that kid like a fucking train." Commenter, "A 15-year-old does not get to dictate terms on uprooting the whole family and ripping his siblings away from the only lives they know. 15-year-old does not tell his parents what they'll do, full stop. Junior here can sit down and reflect on how badly he has fucked up his own future. That is the limit of his power right now. He is 15. He will do as he is told. We can see here that that he has the decision-making skills of the average parakeet." Hey, that is insulting to parakeets. Feel free to tell him that. He does not even know if it's his child. Insist on that. Like, in all seriousness, birds are actually really smart. Parakeets are really super smart. Okay, another update. June 3rd, 2025, 4 days later from the update number 2 in the original post. Editor's note: edited out the bottom two-thirds of the updated post as it is a rehash of the original post. Someone suggested I repost the update because they didn't see it until now, so I am. Update again on June 3rd. Ollie's friend was able to see her Instagram through an old account, different email. I don't use Instagram enough to know what that means, but it meant they weren't blocked when they reactivated. They found the pregnancy announcement post, and if you scrolled across it, it showed a digital copy of the scan Bree sent us as a 16-week scan. Apparently, the first scan she had at the OB. That is dated 404 and clearly says gestational. GA, I'm assuming, is gestational. 19 plus 3 weeks, making an August due date, I believe, or very early September. This would not line up with the due date given to us, but does line up when her parents told me she was pregnant mid April. They told us we've had the pregnancy confirmed and sent a photo of the printed pic, which the date isn't on there. I actually think it may have been cut off the top. I haven't told Ollie this yet because I want to be very sure. I am very concerned about his mental health at the moment and am taking that into consideration. But unless she gave the wrong period dates and the baby measured only 6 weeks, then it's not possible for it to be our son's. Okay, so is she like cheating on him and it's another guy's baby, or how does this go? Okay, also added information. Her due date, from what we know, is September 22nd. She was here from December 20th to January 7th and saw Ollie December 21st and 22nd and January 4th and 5th. Never overnight. I asked Ollie when did this happen, and he said January 4th was the only time, which makes more sense as they were in a public gathering otherwise. They were at a mutual friend's birthday that night, but never stayed overnight. I've had 5 kids, and I know the dates are too close to figure it out that way. Ollie also said that the joke we made was to just see if it happens, the pregnancy, because that's obviously meant to be, and he would be able to move. To me, it sounds like she had to plan it. She it sounds like she had the plan for a lot longer, but I may be biased here. Relevant and top comments is OOP cutting her son's communications off with Bree. OOP, sorry if it sounds childish. I'm only updating because I have no one to ask or talk to. I don't want to reach out to other parents I know or Facebook without knowing it's actually my son's child first, and to be honest, I am embarrassed. I threatened to cut off Ollie's contact to Bree only because her parents were encouraging his attitude towards us at home. Another commenter says, so what you're saying is that the most immature people in this situation are Bree's parents. And I expect teenagers to make questionable decisions, although generally not to the extent of get pregnant on purpose so we can force people to move. But the parents are a whole new level of what the fuck. OOP says, I'm wondering if Bree has somehow maybe manipulated the situation there. I couldn't imagine being like this, and the family I've met before did not appear this irrational in the past. Another commenter says, is her social media public or private? If it's public, then sign out and some social media sites you can see without becoming a member. Then you can track what she posts. Are you even sure that she is actually pregnant? Is she showing yet? Has she sent ultrasound photos? She could be lying about being pregnant in the first place. The fact she blocked her sons and friends shows it's probably not this. Hopefully her son realizes how horrible this girl and her really are. OOP. Her parents confirmed she was pregnant. She is not really showing no. She sent an ultrasound photo, but it's like a photo of a photo. I wanted to keep access to her social media to see if she uploaded on that showed more information so I could check dates. I will see if your advice works. Another commenter says, definitely don't budge on the DNA test. You never know, especially with her seeing the other boy. Okay, I think I missed that part. Another commenter says, honestly, the parents' reaction to the whole situation is very odd, especially if you claim they didn't seem this way in the past. I agree with the sentiment that Bree might be twisting the narrative to her parents, just as she is twisting it online with the whole deadbeat dad posts. I would very much say run with the DNA test. This might sound bad, but honestly, I wouldn't trust her without proof, based on her current actions. New updates. Editor's note, OOP made a separate update for the June 25th update, but it was removed, later reinstalled onto the same post with the first update. Update number 4, June 15th, 2025, same update post, 12 days later. Okay, I spoke to Bree's biological father who lives in this town, who had no idea about any of this before you come for me because there was no domestic violence or anything. I felt I'd run out of options at this point and I just wanted a way to contact them. Bree's mother then made contact, agreed to the blood test, we paid for it. Ollie and Bree spoke again, and Bree asked to come here for a holiday and have an ultrasound with him to prove dates in person. I agreed to this, but I may not be thinking straight with all the stress we've all been under. She says she is 26 weeks, sent him a photo of her belly, which has grown, and told him there was no other option but him to be the father. That the ultrasound had to go by her last period date, and she couldn't remember, so she went by her app and it was the period before. That's why the dates are out on the scan. I asked if she had a physical booklet of pregnancy notes or something because I know from experience that they have all the confirmed information on them. But she said everything is digital with the doctor, and I didn't want to push because it's not my medical info. I'm wondering if I do just fly her out here on my own terms. Her mother agreed and do the blood and ultrasound here and put an end to it all. Update number 5, June 25th, 2025, same update post 10 days later. We all come to a travel arrangement. We paid for Bree to fly. to fly out, and her father was paying for the ticket home. Bree was supposed to fly to us this morning and stay for 6 weeks total, flying back sometime in August. Her father's in charge of that flight. She was supposed to be staying with us over these next few weeks while we do our annual July 4th family vacation for a week, and then a couple more weeks back here at home for the ultrasound/blood test. This was decided together with both families because Bree and Ollie would like to have some kind of positive experience, memories during the pregnancy, and obviously, if baby wasn't his, Bree would be taken to her father's and we would be finished with it all. But she never turned up for her flight. She texted the night before that the doctor did not recommend she should not travel as she is at risk of preterm labor due to her age and her severe morning sickness, making her only be able to tolerate pineapple juice, so she's needing to be hospitalized and maybe even deliver early. This is on top of a group photo that included Bree, obviously pregnant in a tight tee, hugging the boy she was dating in her new town, her hand on her belly. It was quickly removed from her story when Ollie asked, I think it was intentional to make him jealous. I am done. I do not believe her or her parents. I've contacted a lawyer and therapist. I will not be updating again until I know the outcome of the DNA test that I assume will not be done until after the baby is born, since I was told today I cannot force her to have it while pregnant. If this baby is Ollie's and my grandchild, I am willing to move Bree here and have her live with us. It has no chance and will continue to run my son's life from afar. Relevant comment. Commenter, it's very possible that she may go into labor early as due to her real due date. And OP says, this is what I thought too. If the other due date is the real due date, then she would be something like 32 weeks, which would mean she would be 38 weeks when she planned to fly back. Therefore, an OP may say they don't recommend it. Okay, and alright, there's some comments. I agree with Ollie's dad. However, I think Ollie and Bree combined have the intelligence of one pair. And then someone replies to that, let's not insult pairs now. I think I'm being rather generous to pairs with no brains. Given Bree and her manipulation has at the most one brain cell floating around her skull like a Windows screensaver. I thought this was gonna be like a lot. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. This is actually a highlighted comment. Okay, I'm currently pregnant. Let me break down how everything this girl said is a lie. They would ask for a last menstrual period at the first appointment, but it would be very obvious from the first scan and all subsequent scans if that was off by 4 weeks. Once this was confirmed, they would adjust the due date and gestational age, GA. So if the scan says 19 plus 3, that's based on fetal development, not, oh, this is when I last remember having a period. She's setting the stage for saying she had the baby early due to stress from them. My 8 pound, 7 week early baby. Alright. Uh, new comment thread, new comment thread, new comment thread. Alright. And then we've got, like, I'm literally trying. As an OB nurse, her story doesn't add up at all. Oh my god, I love that there's like people, pregnant ladies, there's nurses giving their opinions, people giving their opinions in the comments. I could read a lot more comments, and I probably will. I think I'm gonna have that a Reddit extras video. But just hang on because there's one more thing that. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do because there is another update here. I'm going to see what this is about. Okay, so there is a new update, and this happened. Holy crap, this was updated on my birthday! New update, editor's note. OP made the latest update on a separate post, but also added the same body text onto the first update post. Update number 6, July 13th, 2025. New post almost 3 weeks later. Newest update, July 13th. My 15-year-old son got his girlfriend pregnant on purpose. I said my 15-year-old girlfriend. Shut up. Okay, I didn't plan on updating prior to the DNA test, but I can confidently say we do not need it to know the truth. We will likely still do one if Bree sticks to her story. Only I will go through the courts at this point. We have a family lawyer, and he has advised these updates are fine as long as they do not identify anyone by name, location, etc. I had a lot of helpful messages on here, and I do read them all even if I don't reply. One was from a radiographer who suggested that I look at the measurements of the baby on the ultrasound. If I am able to get scan pictures and then use that to calculate if the baby was 16 weeks on that scan, I've kept that idea in mind if I ever got the chance to see the scan myself. That same writer also raised concerns that she only had this one scan at 16 weeks, and there wasn't a 20-week scan again 4 weeks later. All rubies would do a scan at 18 to 22 weeks. The one photo we have seen is a photo of a scan, a profile shot of the baby's face at 16 weeks, and there hasn't been another scan since then. We've been playing it safe and being very careful with how we tread around Bree, not wanting to cause any arguments. We have not mentioned this to them yet, and if by chance someone tells them via this post, or they know nothing about this post, or they know about this post, we don't care. We have nothing to lose since the baby isn't Ollie's, and this is how I know. Bree and Ollie have many mutual friends, but only one other girl, Hannah, who is still friends with both of them from within the group. Hannah believes Ollie is the father because that's what Bree says, but she had a falling out with Bree this week. It led to her talking to Ollie, and then she sent Ollie a video that Bree sent her after the ultrasound in April. Prior to this, Bree had told her not to show him because he wasn't going to be in the baby's life by choice and all the things she was posting about deadbeat dads. The video shows multiple measurements being done, and I was able to see clearly that the baby measured 19 weeks, and that scan was the 20-week scan. There is no way that baby is Ollie's baby. She is due August 26th. Ollie knows all of this and is doing okay, very angry, but has the support he needs. What happens now, we don't know, but we know the truth. All we can do is speculate as to why my son was the target of this plan. I know we will likely never know the truth. To clear some things up, I will not be taking this up with Bree and her family until after the baby is born. I am not concerned about DNA test results, but we'll still do one. In the video of the OB slash nurse, whoever it was doing the scan, says whoever sorry, hang on. Whoever it was doing the scan says, so your due date is August 26th, which lines up perfect for you last period. So I know that's the due date, and you can clearly see the numbers on screen showing the measurements are 18 to 19 weeks. Ollie cannot be the father. She wasn't even in the state at that time. There is plenty of other more detailed clues I have but will not post. I think the father is the boyfriend in that town, but what I don't understand is why Ollie was better. Yes, there was more money, but we aren't rich, we just live smart. Thanks for the support. Relevant comments. If she had unprotected sex with multiple people, then you need to get your son tested for everything. Ollie is lucky to have parents who are looking out for him. OOP, we have done this. He's been given the all clear, thank goodness. Another commenter. Good that you're protecting Ollie. Are you planning to do anything on his lying, manipulative behavior? Left undressed, he has the potential to manipulate not only you, but others, including his friends and future partners. OOP therapy. Another commenter says, would love to know what exactly you've done when it comes to consequences inside the home. He obviously needs therapy, but therapy isn't a consequence, it's a necessity. It sounds like you've let him off the hook for everything because you feel bad that he's sad. That's not enough. OOP says, we believe in actual consequences rather than punishments, so a natural consequence for this situation is exactly what's happened. A natural consequence for the intention to manipulate us to move, etc., is now the loss of trust, and with the loss of trust comes the loss of freedom until that trust is earned. But if I'm totally honest, my kid just needs therapy and support at this point. He has lost everything, his confidence, his reputation, his girlfriend, even if it was for the better, a large majority of his friends and their parents who now don't want him around their kids, etc. Just because we know that baby isn't his doesn't mean the rest of the world around us does. Bree still insists it is, and most people believe her. He is being punished, but not by me. OP clarifies details on the pregnancy scan at 16 and 20 weeks. OP, she never had a 16-week scan. She had a 20-week scan that she told us was 16 weeks. As far as I know, that is the only scan she has had. We will do a DNA test via the courts if she tried to pull child support. Where we live, you either need to sign birth certificate and agree that you're the father to be put on child support. Or if you disagree, then you need to do a DNA test and it's court ordered. So that would depend on what they do. I am not wasting money on a test when I know 100% already that baby isn't his. OOP on taking the proper steps of dealing with this whole situation. OOP, we've spoken to a family lawyer, and in our state, we can put him on the birth certificate without him signing it, but in order to file for child support, he needs to agree that he is the father, plus be cited as listed on the birth certificate. If he raises a disagreement about being the father, it goes through court and a DNA test would be ordered. Alright, that did not take as long as I thought it was going to. So I'm gonna be right back and then I might record a couple more stories because I kind of want to keep going. This is all right. I'm back. It's only been a couple of minutes. I'm not back like the next day or anything, which is what happens a lot. But I found a story about a cat in Best of Redditor updates. It's a pretty short one, but I wanted to record this one. Am I the asshole for not getting rid of my cat? Okay, trigger warning, controlling behavior, threats of animal neglect. Original post July 29th, 2025. So I, a 41 female, have been dating a guy, 46 male, for several years. Last year we took a break for about 6 months. In that time, I did not date anyone else. He did, but was working with someone who showed unreciprocated interest in me. This coworker was moving to another state and asked if I wanted to adopt his cat for my kids, and I jumped at the chance. We'd always wanted a cat, and it just seemed like a great opportunity. I lost contact with this coworker pretty quickly after he moved. My relationship with my boyfriend is really great, but recently he told me he hates the cat because it came from a guy who was using it to try and sleep with me. Wait, hang on. Okay, never mind. Um, he said he didn't want to even feed the cat when I'm gone, as it just reminds him of this other guy. It's just a cat, and I literally never think of the coworker who gave him to me. I told him I'd never get rid of the cat just to make him feel comfortable. Not just because of the cat, but because I won't be in a relationship where I have to prove my love by unnecessary sacrifice or pain. Bro, the cat is innocent. Why are you doing that? Like, cats bond very strongly to their owners, just like dogs do. They might not show it in the same way that dogs do, but they can and do get very bonded to the people that they love. How it doesn't say exactly how long they've had the cat. Last year. Okay, so like a year ago. Let's just say a year ago. So, I don't know, sometime between probably closer to a year, but sometime between, I don't know, 6 to 12 months. I don't know. But anyway, unnecessary sacrifice or pain. He said I'm choosing a cat over him. Am I the asshole for thinking this whole thing is stupid and weirdly childish? I'm sorry, but saying you're choosing the animal over him, that's, of course you're going to choose the animal over him. He's the cat is a cat. And also the cat isn't the one giving you the ultimatum. Like, I will always choose my animals over, like, partners or significant others. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna be dating, but if I was dating, I would always choose my pets over my significant others. I'm sorry. They are more important than you. They're literally my children, so you you don't matter as much as them. Okay, verdict not the asshole. Yeah, I figured. It's a cat. Relevant comments. Someone says, he said I'm choosing a cat over him. You sure are, and it's the right call. Keep the cat, dump the man. And then someone else replied to that, you're not choosing the cat over him, you're choosing not to be controlled by someone's insecurity. And then someone else said, don't be surprised if your cat disappears or is injured, or even if it somehow gets killed. In case you can't see them, let me help you. And then she puts a bunch of red flag emojis. Yeah, okay. That is the part that scares me. We've read stories about people who hurt or kill. Like, I think my most recent video, even, there was a story where the boyfriend killed OP's tarantula because he was just so angry about her having it around the house or something. Like he got angry about where she had the tarantula. So he ended up throwing the enclosure out of the house when they broke up, and then the tarantula got killed because they literally because like that's kind of what happens. Tarantulas are very fragile creatures, and you have to be careful if you're gonna handle them or whatever. Like, if you drop them even from a short height, their abdomens could burst, and that'll cause them to die. And then someone else says, read the part back to yourself where the 46-year-old man can't make himself feed a cat because the previous owner may have wanted to sleep with you. Read it over and over until it really hits you how childish, manipulative, and absurd it is. Then realize how twisted it is to refuse an animal food because of it and convince yourself to love yourself more than putting up with this. And then OP added in the comments, hi all, OP here. Thank you, I appreciate the insight. You're right. I knew it. I just needed to hear it loud and clear. I'm done with him. I'll be pulling the plug on this relationship today. Update posted the same day in the same post. I didn't know Reddit was the friend group I needed, yet here we are. Yes, he's gone. It didn't go well, but everyone was right. He was genuinely kind and normal for the most part. I think he's just good at the masking. But in hindsight, there were some red flags of slowly escalating controlling behavior. This kind of yanked the wool off my eyes. He's incredulous that I break up over a cat and then try to gaslight me by saying, I cannot believe you actually think I wouldn't feed your cat. I was maybe being a little hyperbolic. I had a few drinks the other night. Do you think I'm a monster? And so on. Then it turned how controlling it was, and he laughed at me like I'm being dramatic. Me and laughter, I've never heard him do that before. It went around and around, and he was very intentionally pretending to not understand and was changing the subject a lot. I told him I'm done. I'll pack up whatever shit you have at my house and drop it at your work. I guess I'm feeling relieved that I found out before I let him further into my life. It still sucks. I'm good at being single, so life moves on. Also, he's a completely inside cat, and I've changed the code on my door locks. We're safe. Okay, so I guess OP took those comments of he might try to hurt your cat pretty seriously, which is good because, like, that was something that genuinely freaked me out because I have seen not only have we read stories on this channel, I've also heard insane stories where people will do crazy things to animals and like people are fucked up. If someone feels like hurting an animal, they will do it. If someone feels like hurting another person, then sometimes it's just intrusive thoughts. Sometimes they'll actually do it. It just depends on how their mind works and like how crazy they are, how much their brain is broken. Like it's complicated. And then someone commented down below, I am reminded of the best of Redditor updates featuring the incredible Mumu, who also unmasked a terrible boyfriend. Oh my goodness. Okay, we gotta go to the story right now. So I'm just gonna say, hang on. Okay, I'm gonna save this for later and we will do comments. I might just make a whole video surrounding Reddit comments. Let me know if you guys want to see that. Okay. So this story now, because I gotta see this. I gotta find out. I gotta know. I'm not moving in with my boyfriend because of my cat. New update. I am not the OOP. OOP is cat throwaway 1234. I'm not moving in with my boyfriend because of my cat. Originally posted to r/relationship advice, trigger warnings, controlling behavior, animal abuse, or not animal abuse, emotional abuse, mentions of a dying cat, serious injury to an animal. Original post is June 23rd, 2018, so way down in the depth of time. 7 years ago. Throwaway, and I'm on mobile. Sorry for the format. I'm a 24 female, and I've been dating my boyfriend who's 26 male for a bit over a year now, and he really wants me to move in with him. The problem? My cat. My cat is 16 and dying. The vet says it would be unwise to hope for anything past 6 months. Aw, that's so sad. I saw this post earlier where someone's beloved snake passed after I think it was like 12 or 13 years, and it was such a great life for, which is a long life for a snake. Like, snakes can live 20 years or more sometimes. Snakes can live 20 years or more, but God, 12 years is a long time to love an animal. And the snake was beautiful too. Like, I felt super bad for the person that lost it. It inevitably happens. Like, we love these animals and then they die and then we hurt. But, you know, I think it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. But still, it's like really depressing. It's really hard when we lose the animals that we love, so. I mean, my snake is only two, so I hope he's gonna stick around for a really long time to come. Um, I've had this cat since I was a child. He was there for me through everything. Aw. There are a few reasons I don't want to move. One, moving is really stressful for cats, and I don't want to cause any unneeded stress for my old boy. I I don't want to. I want to be kind when I say this, but maybe wait until the cat passes, and then you can discuss moving in. Two, my boyfriend has a fairly energetic Rottweiler. My cat has never been good with dogs. Almost killed when he was about 2 years old. We had to amputate his leg. It was so badly crushed and injured. Oh my god. Ah, that sucks. I understand my boyfriend wants me to be close to him. I want that too. But is it really too much to ask for a few months for my cat to pass away? It hurts me so much that he keeps calling me unfair and not committed in this relationship. I am, but my longest time friend is dying and I want him to be comfortable. He doesn't seem to grasp how important my cat is to me. He never liked cats and even made the joke, when he's gone, I will finally be your number one man. I don't know how to handle this at all. Any advice is welcome. That is terrible. I'm sorry that he's saying those things. He could not be saying those things, and it's really mean. And I would never want to date someone who didn't understand how important my pets were to me. Like, regardless of how you feel about a certain animal, regardless of if you don't understand why someone would love this animal, regardless, it's an animal that they love and have loved for 16 years. So get over it. Um, Relevant comments. If he is a dog, how can he not understand what it's like to love an animal? And OOP responds, he doesn't think cats actually have emotions or something. He's one of those people who thinks cats are evil and dogs are saving grace, which was fine before. I understand not liking cats is almost as common as liking them. And then someone else says, I get that he might not like the cat himself, but why not why he doesn't understand how you feel about the cat? Someone else says, you will not be able to forgive yourself if you make the last days of your loved cat to have some extra stress or hardship due to moving in with your boyfriend. There are reasonable chances that you break up with your boyfriend over something. You will feel enormous guilt if you move in. Don't trade the last precious days of your loved one for anything. OP replies, I'm not. There is no way in hell I'm moving out until after my boy dies. We will see how it goes after, but I'm really hurt by his behavior, and then there's an update like a day later. First off, let me say I'm still shaking, so if this is a rambled mess, I am sorry. Oh no. Did the cat die? All your kind words from yesterday made me cry. Thank you all so much. I thought I would give some backstory to how my boyfriend and I met. It was through a support group, as I mentioned. Growing up until age 7, I had a very abusive dad. When I was 7, he tried to kill my mother and I. Luckily, the cops intervened and they took him away. My mom charged him and he got put away. When the trial was done, we moved and my mom gave me Moo Moo. Don't judge the name, I was 8, from a local shelter. Aw. I didn't fit in at the new school, and Moo Moo was the best thing in my life. Back to the support group. I shared my story, and my boyfriend confronted me after saying he also had abusive parents growing up, and we bonded over our similar situations. I didn't realize how much control he had over me until therapy, until recently. He convinced me to stop seeing my therapist. We also stopped going to group. He used to tell me what to wear, how to style my hair. It's very curly, and recently we've been straightening it because he would always say it looked better. Yeah, that's what abusers do. Little by little, they get you, they suck you in, and they try and cut you off from everyone that cares about you, like anyone who might matter or who you might matter to them, so that they can control you completely until they are your only support system. A few hours ago, I invited him over for lunch and to talk. Luckily, Moo was in my room sleeping. I told him what you guys said and saying that if it was his dog, he would be upset. He blew up. He told me that wasn't the point. The point was I wasn't committed to him or didn't care about us. He started throwing things, a glass of books I had lying about and some picture frames. It was terrifying. I'd never seen this angry before, and I just reverted back to I used to do as a kid. Curl up, cover yourself as much as you can, stay quiet. Bless my roommate who came home during this fit. She brought the security guard because as she was walking in, she heard the shouting and items breaking. My boyfriend was escorted out. As he left, I just screamed, "Don't come back!" I hope it sticks. I blocked his number, and my landlady has been notified to not let him in, as have the guards. Next stop is the neighbors. I don't really know what to do from here. I emailed my therapist. Hopefully, she will let me come back. My mom is on the way over right now, and my roommate is with me too. I'm so terrified. I didn't realize how much control he had over me. I thought all his early behaviors was just because he had clingy issues from his own upbringing. I'm going to have a bath, relax, let my hair go curly again, and cuddle my baby. I'm really glad Moo Moo was in my room. Thank you for all the help. I didn't think any of this was wrong until you guys brought it up. I still love him and feel bad for him. He had a shit upbringing too, but I'm sure he's messed up from it. But I'm going to try to move on. After my cat dies, I'm going to move out from this place to somewhere he doesn't know about. Thank you all again. Edit for everyone who wants to see Moo Moo. Copy from another comment. I don't wanna be identified in case, anyone I know or in the future knows find this. That's why I made a throwaway, 'cause I do have a regular Reddit account. Imagine this, a pretty big tomcat, mainly white, with 3 huge black spots on his back leg and side of his head, minus the back right leg and yellow eyes. 8-year-old me thought he looks like a cow, and cows moo, hence the name Moo Moo. He's pretty derpy, but he's mine. Relevant comments. As distressing as it must have been for you, I'm so glad he finally showed his true colors, but even more so that you were brave enough to end things for good. You're a strong woman, and getting back to therapy will make you stronger and more aware of the intentions of any future abusers who may want to prey on you because of what you've been through. By the way, curly hair is gorgeous. Seriously, wear your curls with pride. OP says, thank you so much. Edit to move to tears again by all your comments. Thank you. I'm going to log off this account now and hopefully never have a reason to use it again. Thank you all so much for the help. I love you all. OP added an update in the thread 7 years later. Update in February 23rd, 2025. Hi everyone, this is kind of crazy. I was on my regular Reddit account. I am an avid follower of this subreddit. When I saw my own post on here, I thought I would give some updates. Mumu died around 4 months after this post. Aw. He was put down since his quality of life was declining rapidly, and while he could have lived maybe another 3 or 4 months, I didn't want that for him. He was in the last stages of kidney disease and needing so many drugs of subcutaneous hydration to just keep him going. I miss him every single day. I still have his ashes with me, and I make sure to keep him in a sunbeam on the window. Aw. So he can stay warm. That was his favorite thing. Regarding my ex, the embarrassing part of it is I still felt so badly for him for so long. I saw a comment on the original post that said it sounded like I was just looking for validation, that his behavior wasn't okay, and I think that's true. Besides controlling my hair, he also pretty much decided everything in our relationship. What we did together, what we ate, shows we watched. It seemed so small at the time, that him never wanting to go to the places I picked or listen to the music I liked. He always had a reason at first, but then eventually it was just because he didn't want to do those things, and for some reason I let that happen. I did try to go back to that therapist and the group, but even after I told her and then what happened, I felt unsafe being there. For the first few months he would stake out my apartment, and I couldn't trust he wasn't also following me to therapy. Maybe stakeout wasn't the right word, but he would leave letters and packages and stuff outside my building, so I knew he was there, could be there at any time. Cops were not helpful since he never made himself known to me, although my roommate swears she saw him a couple times across the street. Basically just said to be careful. My therapist and I moved to phone calls for a while. I don't know if this will surprise anyone, but turns out ex-boyfriend was into the nose sugar, so cocaine. A lot of our fights, I now think he was high for at least some of them, especially the last blow up. He ended up getting in a fight with some dudes at a bar and he was fucked up when booked. This was probably about a month or so after Mumu died. I broke my lease, which my roommate, who I am still friends with, was really nice about. I moved back in with my mom, who lives in a different town, for a few months, before finding another job just one town over from her. That was her suggestion. She wanted to keep an eye on me and make sure I didn't let him back into my life. She was, and is my rock to this day. He got out after only a few months for good behavior, and while he didn't know where I lived, I'm extremely thankful for my mom. Ugh. There were times when I would hear that his experience changed him. 5 people I knew, and I would think maybe he has changed. I was so lonely without Moo. My mom nipped those in the bud every time. She would ask me things like, even if you go back, what then? You get married and have kids? Do you think he would be a good father? It was sobering to think of what I experienced as a child being continued. Eventually, I steeled myself with the help of a new therapist, suggested from my old one, and worked on my self confidence a lot about what I deserve. When COVID hit, I had a lot of time to kind of break down parts of my life I didn't before. I've tried being in a relationship since, but there was this underlying feeling of stress in each one. About 2 years ago, I figured out I think I am asexual. Sex was always so uncomfortable for me, even when it was physically enjoyable. I never really wanted the act. I just assumed this was trauma and fear of intimacy. That is what most people and therapists have told me. I'm currently in a relationship with a lovely person who is non binary, and we are both asexual. We do kiss, but we rarely ever move beyond that. With them, there is no expectation for more. They were also from a less than happy childhood. They were in the foster system, but that isn't my story to share, so I won't. Just know that I'm happy. We've been together for a year, and they are so considerate and kind. They bring me flowers at least once a month. They make sure I can express myself. Think about them a long time that if I did, they could be used against me. My partner has 2 cats who I love. We are currently trying to work out moving in together. My place has a better location, but theirs is larger. We've decided to try and find a completely new place together that we can both agree on, but the process for rentals in right now is horrid. There has been 2 places so far that we applied to and didn't get. Anyway, my life is going great. I still have lots of trauma that I live with, but I know I can get back up when I fall. I have people I love who also love me. I probably won't respond to any comments, and I'll most likely delete this account in a few days. I don't need it anymore. But before I did, I thought leaving one last update was called for. Thank you for all your kind words and for helping me find confidence to get out of that relationship. Much love to everyone. Mumu once again was there for OP and saved her from this guy who apparently turned out like his abusers. His last great move. Mumu is a champion. Mumu gets all the credit for OOP dodging that bullet. I shiver to think of OOP moving in with the boyfriend. Praise Mumu. Wouldn't Praise Mumu make a fantastic flair? And then her flair is increasingly sexy potatoes. I just have to point that out. That is hilarious. I love like looking up flares specifically on Reddit and seeing what the story is behind them, which I will do, but I'm just going to save this for now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just upload this video as one video and then like start a new video and like do it later. So I love each and every one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourself, and I will see all you guys in the next video, which will be in, I don't know, a couple of days, a few days. I have no idea. It'll be in like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't actually know. So it'll be whenever it'll be. I don't really have a schedule right now. Okay, bye.